Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of laCollection podcast. I'm Sixtine Fabre, Partnerships Director at laCollection, and I'm pleased to welcome Eric Baradat today, who is Director of Photography at Agence France-Presse, also known as AFP, to discuss art, culture, and NFTs. And a few weeks ago, Agence France-Presse and laCollection.io announced a new partnership to bring to life or relive in a different way important moments of history thanks to technology. On November the 5th, the three first ever digital editions of press photos from the agency's archives will be sold at auctions as NFTs. Among them, the digital version of AFP's first dispatch and two iconic images from the news of the last decades. Serge Gainsbourg burning 500 francs banknote on a television set. And you must know this one, Bernie Sanders' mittens, an image that has gone around the world and generated countless memes. The NFT collectors will get access to a range of benefits included with the NFT sales, such as a print edition signed by the photographers, a private discussion with photographers Philippe Vaujazer and Brennan Smialowski, and an exclusive visit of the safely guarded AFP archives. The three digital editions, as well as the 200 art prints from AFP millions of photo archives, are currently exhibited until November 5th at the Elia Gallery in the heart of Paris, where the auction will also take place. And all the funds raised during the sale, through the sale of these images, will go towards the preservation and restoration of the agency's photographic archives to ensure the conservation of these invaluable historical, cultural, and artistic heritage. But thank you, Eric, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Eric Baradat. I'm the director for photography, the global director for photography at AFP. AFP is one of the leading news agencies of the world. We're providing news content to every type of media in various languages everywhere in the world, including photo. That's my part. AFP has been taking pictures around the world since the end of the 19th century. So it's an old lady in an old agency. The AFP in its modern form dates back to just after the Second World War. In 1944, we printed the first dispatch signed Agence France-Presse before it was called the Agence Havas before the war. And that's one of the NFTs that's going to be on sale next Saturday. That first dispatch after the liberation of Paris in August 1944. AFP now is covering everything that you see on the web, in your newspapers, in your favorite site, on TVs. We're covering sports, we're covering news, war, catastrophes, we're covering fashion shows, we're covering cultural events, we're covering political events. We have about 350 photographers working every day to cover the news around the world. It's a huge number of images that we produce, around 2,500, 3,000 images every day. This creates, as you can imagine, a huge collection of our own history, of the history that goes in front of us.
How many archives do you have currently at AFP?
At AFP, digitally available today, we've got about 16 million pictures are available on our database website, which is open to professionals of news. It's important to say that AFP usually doesn't go to the general public. We are addressing newspapers, magazines, websites, televisions, radios, every news professional. And also recently we've became the leading agency in fact-checking, because fake news, disinformation is the struggle of the journalists of the 21st century, and AFP is at the heart of that struggle. visually as well as contextually, and so photos also have a part to play in that telling of the truth on a daily basis. That's what we try to do. It's a huge operation. It's super exciting.
Great, and we're really excited about this new partnership, this new kind of a partnership for us, because this is the first time users will be able to collect photography on laCollection. So we are really happy to enter this new category of content. And so, as I said, on November the 5th, and you can already place bids already on the platform if you like. But on November the 5th, the NFTs will be on sale. And we mentioned the AFP First Dispatch, Serge Gainsbourg burning a banknote, and Bernie Sanders. So tell us, Eric, what is so special about these 3 photos?
Well, it's very symbolic in various ways for us. The First Dispatch is because if entering that world, the Web3, the blockchain economy, entering the NFT collection for AFP had to also bring back our roots, the core of what we are, the essence of what our journalism is on a daily basis. And so the First Dispatch was clearly a no-brainer. We had to go for it. Also because there's a visual aspect of it. It's not just symbolic. Old dispatch, old stories published by AFP were all recorded on microfilms. So it's actually a picture that is, the First Dispatch is actually a picture printed from the microfilm of that document, that original document. The second one of Serge Gainsbourg, who's a French icon, is a little bit of also, it's to bring us luck. For some reason, that picture was the best sold picture last year when we did an auction sale of print, of collective, of art print, of archive of AFP. That picture brought us luck. It's a French icon. It's a moment in the French pop culture that everybody remembers. Everybody, almost everybody that's been around for a while, or people that were around. As I say, the AFP is an old lady. We go back to the 19th century, so that time is not so far in our collective memory. So that's a bit of luck. And Bernie Sanders, because that picture totally escaped the scope of the news picture we usually produce. That picture became totally out of the blue, a meme, one of the most viral shared images of after the election of Joe Biden, following the Trump era. There's a lot of political 21st century, almost ironic aspect in that picture that totally mesmerized us when we saw what it became. We've seen that Bernie Sanders position in every type of collage, of invention. And we thought that if we had to go with one picture, one of our first pictures as an NFT, this one was obvious because it was such in the digital mind of people. It's already so present that it would ring a bell everywhere in the world. So that was the choice. That we could have chosen, I don't know, so many it would be crazy. But those 3 pictures made sense. We said, okay, let's go for it, and hopefully people will connect to that to those memories and join us in that aspect of things. Yeah,
I'm sure they will, and this is very interesting. You know, you picked basically the first document that is at the origin of AFP and one of the most recent pictures of the from the archive. So it's there's something about transmission and about heritage, past and present, which is very, very interesting in this initiative. And I forgot to mention that this year is it's the second time AFP is organizing an auction. The first sale was last year, and you started basically to offer put your archives on sale and allow people to become happy owners of these archives.
Yes, because we, as I said, we have 16 million images available online. That's the recent digital era. But we have about 600,000, I think, negatives, old glass plates of pictures. It's the history of the 20th century. A part of the history is in our archives. We have incredible images of, I don't know, Che Guevara on his deathbed, which was a total exclusive at the time. People don't know, but Martin Luther King giving his speech, I Have a Dream, on the steps of the Capitol in Washington. We are the owner of the negatives. Those iconic images, well, we have to maintain them. It's a patrimony. It's our history. It goes beyond the business of selling prints. We have to maintain the quality of our archive. This is obviously, by selling prints, a way to achieve that and make sure that those incredible images will stay forever in the best of the conditions and protected and well treated. It's vital. Yeah.
Yeah, and during the exhibition and then starting November the 5th on our platform, users are invited to vote for their favorite images from a selection of AFP's most iconic photos, like the one you mentioned, that will be included in the next series of digital editions on laCollection. So it is a new way for us to invite our users to participate, to take ownership of the topic and basically choose which photos will be put on sale on our platform. So we strongly invite the people listening to this podcast to go on laCollection and vote for their favorite ones. And do you have any?
It's going to be difficult to make a choice.
Yes, definitely. It was hard for me to vote for my favorite ones. Do you have any anecdotes to share about these three pictures in particular? I don't know.
Well, to be honest, I was in Washington the day of the inauguration of Joe Biden. My previous posting was to be in charge of the coverage of the US during all the Trump era. I'm a recent director here in Paris behind the desk, but I was there. I was there that day. It was, as you can imagine, after 5 years of incredible tensions, just 2 weeks after the invasion of the Capitol, the same place.
Which is the selection, which is in the selection as well.
Yes, which is also in the selection. You have pictures actually of Saul Lubb, of that guy with the horns and the Viking helmet that everybody's seen. He's also on the selection. Well, anyway, we were in that moment of incredible tension. The political stress was maximum. Inauguration ceremonies are usually a big thing in the US. It's a moment where all the media are there. It's a huge Barnum. It was evidently complicated by the fact that 2 weeks before it was a battlefield.
Yeah.
But and suddenly, well, we all do our job. We're there to do that. It's early morning. You get there. It's cold. It's complicated. That day wasn't too cold for a January month in Washington. And Bernie is exactly the same than everybody else. He's cold. He gathers his jacket. He's got his incredible mittens. And that picture is a picture that goes in a flow of hundreds of pictures that we take that day. There's about 7 photographers of AFP dispatched in various positions around the Tribune. We have photo editors that are directly connected to the cameras of the photographers, meaning when the photographer takes a picture, it goes straight to somebody behind the computer that decided if it's good, if it's not good, if he sends it around the world instantly, because those events are now covered in real time, even by photographers, not only TV. Every news website wants the image in the next minute, and that picture goes on the on the flow. I have not taken the pictures and I have not edited it, but I was there when my colleague Eva received the pictures. Said, "Oh, it's funny, Bernie with his mittens. Yeah, I'll move it. Yeah, okay, we move it, and that's it. And suddenly, in a few hours, I'm not even talking about days, but in a few hours after that, it's everywhere. The picture." To be honest, as a photographer, and to the credit of Brandon, the photographer who took that picture, Brandon is an amazing photographer. He's one of the most visually driven person I met in my career. It's not his best picture. To be graphically, the picture is quite flat. It's just the personality of Bernie, the attitude, the moment, again, the tension of that moment in the American politics that made that picture suddenly something light, something funny. Yes, Bernie was there. He was, and it became a meme. So we've seen Bernie on the moon. We've seen Bernie dancing the Gangnam Style in Seoul. We've seen him sitting at Yalta with Roosevelt and Churchill in this position. I mean, every sort of creativity has been totally liberated by that picture for some reason. Whereas the star of the day should have been Joe Biden, by the way, and nobody remembers pictures of Joe Biden that day. Everybody remembers the picture of Bernie.
He stole the show, definitely.
Yeah, he totally stole the show, and I think that for me it was an incredible moment, so that's one of among the three, the one I relate more, and I find the more funny, and I'm very curious to see what life that NFT will get in the future.
Me too.
Very curious.
Great. And in your opinion, how does blockchain and LFT technology open new territories for photography, for photographers?
Well, there are two types of things. Here we're talking about photography collection, we're talking about visual art, we're talking about the passion people can have for photography and news. I think the blockchain and the NFT technology for people that are making a profession of showing the truth, telling the truth, recording the truth will be, one way or the other, a major step in the certification of what we do. The fact that I'm not saying that every AFP picture tomorrow will be available as an NFT, but the blockchain registration of what we consider real content curated by professional and valid will make the difference between a lot of the fake images you can find. The fact that if it's registered on the blockchain somewhere, eventually with the stamp and the certification of the professional news agency will make a difference. So because we're struggling every day to get access to the general public with real info, with sourced, validated and proper information. Everybody's getting so many things on their phones, on their social networks, that having the capacity for anyone to verify on the blockchain that this is genuine will make a difference. So I think I don't know, obviously we're in a very evolving technology, which is mutating every 6 months. I don't know what form it will take, but the principle, the concept of it, it's here to stay.
Great. And what do you think of, what does collecting digital photography mean to you? Why people would collect, digital?
Well, they always did. People have been collecting photography since the origin of photography. And we all live in a digital world now. There's no reason why people wouldn't want to collect the same thing in a digital world. The value, why are we emotionally attracted to an object or an image? Whether it's physical or digital doesn't make a difference. I think at some point people will have, or will be, will have the will or the desire to be the owner, the digital owner of creation of intellectual property, and the NFT form at the moment seems to be the form. So, yeah, I don't see the difference. Basically, yeah, we can always say, yeah, NFT, it's nothing and everything. It's something in the digital part of our existence, which is growing every day. That's it.
Are you yourself a collector?
Sorry?
Are you yourself a collector?
Yeah, but it's never ending. I mean, I have friends that give me pictures. I offer pictures to friends. I always want a picture that cannot get. Yeah. I'm not a big collector, but yes, yeah, and yeah, I'm passionate about photography. I think a lot of people are, and it's one of the. It's possible to collect photography. There are collections that are super complicated to gather and everything. Photography is so rich. There's so many themes. There's so many incredible artists that there is a collection for everyone to have. There is the possibility, depending on our taste, on our environment, our culture, we can. Photography is a collectible. It's definitely one of the main media to collect. Yes.
Great. And what is like if we project ourselves, in a couple of years, I don't know how much time ahead, but what is the future of photography for you? How do you envision that?
Well, I've been asking myself that question. I've been working in this business for now almost 30 years. When I started, it was film. We were so the future of photography. Clearly, there will be creative photography, artificial intelligence photography, totally created from bits and bobs of pixels gathered from there and there. There will be traditional photography. There will still be people carrying a large format film camera on their back and taking a picture that will take 20 minutes of pose time to create a huge negative and an incredible piece of art. The scope of photography is wider every day. We consume images every day more. I don't know, I would say stupid things, but I don't know how many, as we speak, how many millions of images have been posted on the web just when we had this conversation. So the future of photography is there.
I often ask myself this question, like how many posts, how many interactions on images
it's
per
probably,
second.
it's probably staggering. It's probably frightening, but there are millions for sure. So the future of photography is there. Then if my field of play is news photography, what's the future for news photography? I believe everybody at some point needs to see what's happening really in places that are making history. And everybody is now questioning the education of the new generations are evidently better than they used to be. Everybody's questioning. So having real hardcore journalism guaranteeing that what you see was not transformed, was not manipulated, was not artificially created, was not set up like if it was a movie or a publicity. That type of certification, the blockchain is one of the elements to certificate that type of thing. But the quality of news photography will always be there because we need to know what people want to know what's happening, whether it's a football game, fashion show, or war in Ukraine. People don't want to be tricked. They want to see the real story. They don't want to be tricked. They want to be projected in that moment, and that's by photography that they can achieve that. Yeah.
Amazing. Great. I don't know if you wanted to add anything, Eric. So
I hope I've not talked too much already. It's hard for me to stop on that type of subject. So
no, it's so interesting and to get your direct thoughts and insights on those archives and especially the photographies that would be sold as NFTs. It's amazing to know that you were actually there for Bernie Sanders' photo. I think it's such a privilege to hear from you directly, and thank you very much, Eric, for taking the time
Welcome.
to share these thoughts with us. And I strongly encourage again our listeners and viewers to vote for the next NFTs on our platform, laCollection.io, and also obviously to participate in the auction. So you can already place bids on our platform, and if you like to attend in person the auction, it's possible. It would be at Elia Gallery, 10 Rue de Turenne in Paris. So see you there, and thank you so much, Eric, and looking
See you
forward.
all there. And I think the person that gets the Bernie Sanders NFT picture will never regret it.
The luckiest person.
Yes, the luckiest one. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Eric. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.